wanna get away, but I could use some company. If you're alone like me, we could go on a trip. Girl, I wanna see the
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. It is me, Ilyasa, aka Minister Charge, aka Coach Illy, and we are on tonight. It is Thursday. Thursday is about the men, right? We are here with the men, the kings tonight to talk about topics regarding men. Yes, we are here. And tonight, I just want to let everybody know you're amazing. Okay? You're amazing. You will see a QR code in the top corner. You know, scan this QR code, go straight to our website. It'll let you know everything of the charge room, anything that you need. We do offer strategic interventions to help you become a better you and to help you develop better relationships with other individuals. But most importantly, to improve who you are and to give you ways to get from a stuck place to a place where you ought to be. Because if you are here, you have purpose, ladies and gentlemen. You have purpose. And I am here to help you get to where your purpose will lead you. And so tonight, again, we are here to talk about challenging situations that how do you get through a topic, a challenging topic with your opposite sex, men versus women, women versus men, and why does it have to be versus, right? How can you get through a challenging conversation without it you losing control with your temper, without you disrespecting your mate, without you getting upset, shutting down, and disqualifying or dismissing your mate? How do you have these conversations? And these conversations could be topics that are extremely sensitive to the other person. We can talk about weight, we can talk about medical issues, we can talk about infidelity, we could talk about um, um, blended children and blended families, anything that will bring a challenge to people with trust issues, and you're sneaking around digging in other people's phones and just making life hard, and it becomes very tension, with just a lot of tension, right? So we're going to bring the kings on tonight, and we're going to make this a bit interesting because I'm going to bring a little bit of dynamic on here. So right now we have King Herman and King Father Wise. Hi gentlemen, how are you? Hi King.
Peace. Peace.
How are
Hey,
you
hey,
doing tonight?
good.
So again, we are here to talk about, how can you have a conversation, a successful one, successful discussion with your mate regarding something sensitive to him or her, since it's you guys to her, um, where you can successfully begin the discussion and end the discussion on a good or understanding note where the both of you can meet on common ground. And I know many times that is very challenging, and people's temper can go from zero
Woo!
to 100 in a half a second, based on what the topic may be. So one again is a infidelity, when someone is cheating and they're trying to play you on your intelligence when you definitely caught them red-handed. It's nothing of suspect. This is say like something you caught them red-handed, and they still try to play with your intelligence like you are incompetent, like you are visually not looking at what you think that you're looking at. There's another topic of women and weight. um, Women might say, they're working on their weight, or they may not be working on your weight. But when someone mentions the weight word weight with women, it sends them to a place of severe sensitivity, and it may even trigger some angry behavior. Another thing is, with children and blended families, that comes up a lot, because we are in a world where there's you may meet a woman, you may like a woman, you may date a woman, you may learn to love a woman, but this woman has children. You may have children, and then you may not have children, but there may be discussions that come up, say, like, now y'all have moved in together, and the woman's children may sit and plot and do things against you to interfere with the relationship that you have with your woman or spouse. um, that could trigger some fire on both parts. And I know now that, since that type of blended family is more common these days, um, it could stir up some really fire on the ground. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, Kings. Um, you can pick a topic that would have created challenge for you, and then just express your experience. So, who would like to go first? Okay, that would be Herman.
You already know.
It's like, okay, that would be Herman.
Man, I try to follow with the whistle too. You know what I'm saying? All right, all right, all right. Let's get down to business. So, I've dealt with both topics. Um, the first one where we talk about, you're trying to communicate and have that real hard conversation, but then somebody gets sensitive and is bumping heads at first. Usually when you have that, you gotta find a way to have this conversation at a neutral spot where if I'm in my man cave, I don't know if I'm gonna really feel what you were saying, or if the ladies in her she shed, that may not, what you call them, because the home court advantage gives you that little extra boost, and you like, nah, you're not violating me, But if it's somewhere where, let's say, I know, me and my ex, we had tried it, but in the bed, relaxed, just had sex, both guards down. Now we're talking about it. It does put up a barrier to where, it's a commonality. That's what we agreed upon. Okay, let's have this conversation. And the reason why I say you do it twice is because the first time when you come, you send your representative. But that second time you come, now that representative is gone. And now here comes everything start oozing out. And you start to see, okay, here's your side. Okay, here's my side. This is how this makes me feel. How does it make you feel? Because if there's something that you're talking about and you know how the other person is going to react, there's certain words sometimes you're going to kind of slide around, mean the same thing, but a different way of saying it that can get your point across so that they can understand. And then once that happens, then you can start to, I say, really communicate. But if you go and just walk away, and sometimes that person doesn't let you walk away, it stirs up, because I'm at that point. If I'm telling you something and you told it to me and I said, I understood it, but give me a second, but you're still like, no, that's going to get underneath my skin. And I'm going to tell you nicely, please let me walk. But if you don't give me a way to go out, then I go into beast mode and I don't care. That's when I start hitting below the belt. And you're going to feel my wrath. I may come back and apologize, because that's just the maturity that I've gotten to now, that I don't do it. But yeah, I'm quiet. I'm a nice guy, But there comes a point where, like, if I break, it's a fire that I can't control no more, and it's coming out. Now, when it comes to the other topic where I'm talking about the lady's weight or her self esteem, I'm to the point where, okay, I know how that feels. 'Cause I used to be a fat kid. When somebody told me like, "Dad, you weigh more than my mother," but and just with that, it just comes down to, okay, well, let's start by eating healthy. No pressure. I'll start doing the cooking. Here, I made you something. Try it. And you just have to just come with different ideas and creativity. But that's my feelings on both topics.
Because it just appears to me like if you are with a mate, one of the key factors is you have to learn your mate. You have to know what makes them tick and what makes them have a smooth ride. Sometimes you can't go into the front door. You got to go in the back door. You got to go through the window. You got to come through the chimney and come through the fireplace, to get your point across. Because to avoid the back and forth bickering where you are at a point where no one is listening and everyone is yelling, because the louder you get, I don't know what some people feel, the louder you get, you could hear
Right.
me. But really, it's quite the opposite. The louder you get, the other person blocks out what you are saying, and they will only catch what they hear, not what you're actually saying. That's block listening, right? So, to avoid getting to that level, one has to kind of man down and listen to the other, or woman down and listen to the man. And sometimes, as he's trying to make his point, or she's trying to make her point, if we take a step back and not block out their voices, or put up this energy wall where we are totally blocking everything out, and you become numb and you just say, okay, I shut down and quit, but you're still in the room, you have taken yourself emotionally away from the conversation, and you're just there in your presence, in your physical, right? You would have to man a woman down, because sometimes it's just the point of us just getting it. We don't have to agree, but just say, okay, I hear you and I understand. I get it. Again, you don't have to agree, but just have respect for a person's view, a respect for their thought process, and then move on to the next step and say, well, okay, so what could we do to get past this point? Or how can I help you get past this point? Or how can we go forward? Like, just don't stay here and everyone be angry and upset at each other. So, Father Wives, please share with us your seasoning in our cover soup here. So, what challenges have you experienced when it came to having a sensitive conversation with your significant other, where it always escalated to a point of no return?
Which topic?
Any, it could be any topic.
I'll
Just
just
pick
say we
one, because this is about experiences, right? We only can talk
yeah,
about what we experience.
yeah.
So we're
I,
just sharing our experiences here.
well, my experience on this of trying to have a conversation. Look, trying to have a conversation with a woman and trying to have to you know trying to get a woman to see your point of view when she thinks she's right and you think you right. That's a recipe for disaster, because I'm going to tell you, me personally, like this is the book. Like I tried to read the little book on how to have a conversation with woman, and it's about this thick, and that ain't even the whole book. This part of it. Having trying to tell a woman something when she thinks she's right, or trying to have a conversation with her, that's one of the hardest things that I've had to do. Now I'm not saying with all women, but there's one in particular. When you Because what I found, what I was doing was, you they women get easily offended, period, because they're emotional thing. And even if you pick the right words and you say the right thing, hey babe, can we talk? Yo, the other day I didn't like that. Oh, you didn't like what? You never liked nothing. I was like, oh, here we go again. So what I do, I just look, I just sometimes I just don't say nothing. And that's probably part of the problem too, because I'm definitely like Herm. I'm like, yo, look, you don't want to make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry, right? I'll be on that type of mode. You know what I'm saying, Herm? I don't. And my whole thing is, once I get going, there is no. Let me change that. When I was younger, once I got going, that was it. There is no turning back. There is no there. Yo, the gloves are off. We in a full out down drag out battle, and I plan on winning. Even though they say you can't never win an argument with a woman, no, I plan on winning because I ain't losing. I don't like to lose, right? I've tried now since I've gotten older. Oh God, I hate that word. I just older. I just turned 54 yesterday, man. I just sitting there looking at my life. I'm like looking at my beard, I was like, yo, I need to go back to I need to find the fountain of youth.
Join the 54 club. Join the
Yeah, I
54 club.
know. Ugh. So now that I'm older and I've been through, I always talk, been there, done that, right? So now it's like I'm listening, and I usually listen like this, or I usually listen. I find it real easier for me to listen with my eyes closed. So if I'm sitting there talking to a person, I got my eyes closed, and they're like, "You're not paying attention." No, actually, I am paying attention, because what happens is when I close my eyes, I turn off one of my senses, and the other ones get more acute. Like when I have my eyes closed, I can hear better. Especially if I don't have to look at you. If you just piss me off, I don't have to look at you, and I can just listen to what you're saying. Like I can listen, and I'm hearing you, and I'm actually listening to what you're saying when I'm sitting with my eyes closed. So it gets misconstrued as, oh, you don't want to hear me. No. And even when I explain it, they still, you just open your eyes and look at a person when you talk to them. I say, yes, I know that too. But right now, I just want to listen with my eyes closed. I can hear better. And so I don't get into no arguments or no beefs or none of that discussions. I listen. If I don't like it, I still listen. And when it's all said and done, it depends on. And now this depends on the day that you catch me. Now you can catch me on one of them funky days, and I don't want to hear nothing. I don't care how you say it. You can bring my favorite meal when you say it. I still don't want to hear it. Period. Um. Now you talk.
But it's not okay when women do that to you.
Oh, women do it all the time. Y'all do it all the time.
That's not true.
Okay.
Because
In my experience,
because just like you said, you can have a good day, and then you could have a funky day, and then you get two different people. Some people have a different funk every single day. But again, it's all about how you know and identify with that person. So again, if two people take time out to learn each other, because you should be able to identify when your mate is having a good day and when your mate is having a bad day. And you all should also hear me out. You also should be able to identify how to reach them if you take time to learn each other. So if you, because hearing you, because from what I'm hearing from you, and you gave demonstration of you sometimes, do this, or you close your eyes. If someone is doesn't take the time out to learn you, then they would get immediately offended because that is a sign of dismissal. You are dismissing a person's presence, their emotions, their feelings, like they have absolutely no regards, and they don't matter. And as a person that wants to be in love with another, they want to receive that love from that person that they love. And the first sign when you show that you do not take into consideration anything of their presence or existence at that particular moment, you are right. You are starting a war.
Mhm. And
You are starting a war. So this is my thing. So when you know that, and you know that irritates the person that loves you and you love, would it make sense to try a different approach?
I guess it would make sense, but
Right.
what
Because
makes sense?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What I'm saying, I hear what you're saying, and it makes sense, but everything don't make sense in the moment,
Well,
right?
again,
And
is if you take because what happens when people's emotions get hyped, right? When people are hyped, it's like a person is taking a step in. Oh, what you gonna do? Because I'm coming for you now. Because you done pissed me off. You made me mad. So I'm stepping into you. What you gonna do? And you step into them the same way. Y'all are hyped. Y'all ready to attack each other. So when I said earlier, somebody has to man down or woman down, right? Because if you take a step back instead of a step forward, your vision to see is a little bit different. Because if you're walking up on someone, you may not see that they have, like, you won't see I have a print on my shirt. But if I lean forward, you can't see it. But if I take a step back, you can see that I have a print on my shirt, right? So how you angle yourself is a different vision that you will see, which should give you a different thought process. Oh, I didn't know she had an image on her shirt because I took a step back. That will automatically click in your brain. Oh, I didn't see that. Versus I'm sitting up and you can't see it. So you seeing two different views. So your brain will automatically switch gears to say, oh, so if you are hyped and angry and upset, so as you're approaching someone and they're approaching you and to go at it, right? You can't see or hear. You then block a person out. You then block out what they're saying, and you only hear what you want to hear. That's selective hearing, right? So if you would calm yourself to say, okay, just like how you said, here we go, right? Suppose you don't take that approach and say, here we go, but say, let me see what she's talking about. And you have to take a step back. Let
now,
me examine what she's really saying, or vice versa. Let me take a step back and hear what he's actually saying. Because maybe at that particular point, if I calm down and take a step back, I can get it. Again, I may not agree, but I can find understanding. So it's if we are always in attack mode, so just like how you said, you know what, forget it, I don't even say nothing anymore. Then why be in a relationship if you can't talk to one another? Why be in a relationship when you can't communicate with one another? Like I was talking on the show last night. If you are complaining about a man, if you feel you have to disrespect a man, why have sex with him? Why be in a relationship with him at all if you have no regards to who that man is? So it's like, examine why you having sex with somebody you complaining about. Examine that. So then we have to take a look at ourselves. So if we're going in attack mode all the time, we have to take a look at ourselves. Why am I going in attack mode? Why am I not hearing her? Why do we always come here to this point? Why can't we get through a sensitive conversation successfully? You have to ask yourself these questions. And if people take time out to look at what role are they playing in this sensitive discussion, you have to man or woman down to say, okay, what role am I playing? How come we can't get to the exit point to move forward? Why every time we have a sensitive conversation do we get stuck here? It's just something to think about. You have to put yourself in a thought-provoking situation to say, okay, we have 10 arguments every single week. Why do we have 10 arguments every single week? How can we start low, we roar high, and get to straight attack mode to go for the juggler? Cursing each other out, throwing things, breaking things, slashing tires, breaking windshields. Why can't we just start a conversation, express ourselves, come to an understanding, and successfully roll out? Those are conversations and thoughts and questions to ask yourself. What role are we playing here? So how y'all feel about that?
I'll go first this time. Oh, you got to go ahead, Father.
Yeah, I was holding that because I ain't finished my other thought. So I just
good. You got it.
It's look. If you come to me, you're gonna get the same. You're gonna get met with the same energy that you give me, right? And I'm not one. Well, back then I wasn't one for backing down. I wasn't one for none of that. But now I'm, like I said, to the point now. I listen, and that's it. Like, and then I'll have something to say if I'll listen even when I don't agree. But I'm gonna tell you why a lot of times people can't listen to each other or they get into it, because first of all, it's really not about that issue that they're arguing about at that moment. It's probably something that happened back then, and the argument starts again, and then it gets fueled by some past records, some past stuff that either person never forgave each other for. That's the root of it.
And I can agree. And I can agree.
Because I know for me, it was the look. I want to have a conversation, like you said, with somebody. When you know somebody did something or they cheated and they tried to play you, and now you have that resentment, and that resentment is why people don't back down. It's like, no, you're not going to play me this time, or you're not just going to tell me any old thing because I'm not listening to it. And people don't understand resentments breed anger and hate and mistrust. And once you start having all that stuff, it's hard to have a conversation, and it's just time to walk away, like I did. Walk away, and now, or if you don't walk away, you just before you walk away, before you get to the point where y'all just break up and walk away, you really don't want to hear nothing that person has to say because they've been lying all this time. So anything they say now is just a freaking lie, and you don't want to hear it. Period.
That's understandable.
Right? I don't want to hear it. There's absolutely positively nothing you could say to me after you lied to me and you got caught. Because now everything out your mouth, as far as I'm concerned, is a lie. Right?
That's understandable.
And then you said, and then the last piece of that other thing was about having a conversation with a woman about her weight or the way her credit or anything like that. Look, I've learned in these last 54 years, oh God, right? you better not never say nothing about no woman's weight. Don't ask her. Don't just avoid that topic. Just avoid that topic if like your life depended on it. Because I never forget. Because when I was younger, I never forget a girl saying, "Does this dress make me look fat?" I'm like, "Yeah, it actually does." Like, why are you wearing that? What? And I was like, "Hold on. First of all, you need to calm down. You asked me a question. I answered it, and now
that was fair. That was fair.
And now you mad.
That was fair.
And I tell you like this. We said people, it's called self-esteem. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Right? Self-esteem. I can't help your self-esteem. Right? You gotta help. That's some work you have to do for yourself. Like I just tell you, like people now, like I just avoid many conversations that I know of a woman knows she messed up, her credit messed up, and you mention it to her, she get it defensive. She chose this hairstyle, she loves it. You kind of ain't too fond of it. Keep your mouth shut. Don't answer it. You like this hairstyle? Mm-hmm. Don't even answer it. Right? How'd you like the dinner? Was it good? Shit was nasty as hell. Oh, it was okay. It was good. I just learned those things. That's how you avoid real argument. That's how you avoid those type of arguments, right? This dress make me look big, make me look fat. No, it's just right. It's perfect. Like that's you. Like that's what I've learned to do over these years. Cause I'm not arguing with nobody about nothing no more. Only time I want to get into something or don't want to look. All I want all my ups and downs to be in between the sheets. That's it. I don't want no problems. Not anymore. Not like I used to. And I'm like my head is somewhere else now. I just want to be chill. That's it.
So what you think, King Herman?
It comes down to the maturity and, like you said, getting to know a person. But I know maybe we was talking about questions. These is I just got 2 or 3 more questions I'm gonna ask for the next relationship. Yo, you get mad and we go at it. What do you do? How you solving it? I don't want to listen to you. How are you going to get to me to have a conversation? And if we don't agree, then what? Do we seek counseling, seek a mediator, or we go our separate ways? Because it's just interesting sometimes. And you said something really that I think a lot of people don't realize. If we're coming to the point and we're having 10 arguments and nobody is doing the self-evaluation of why, they bump heads. Because also with communicating, sometimes people can say something that is your pet peeve. Because one of mine was definitely, okay, you don't like when other people do it, but then you do it and it's supposed to be okay. Nah, I got a problem with that. That's wrong.
Hypocrites.
But then you're not taking that accountability, and then you just want to be right. I understand you want to be right. Great, beautiful. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's like, yo, do you always have to be right sometimes?
Oh yeah, they got to be. Yeah, they have to be.
So, yeah, they gotta be. so relationships are really funny And then it also comes to, um, are we gonna fight for this? Do we want this? We started out, yeah, we said we wanted it. Okay, now that the honeymoon stage that's gone, now this is gone, and now it becomes a choice. Do I choose to love you today? That's a choice you gotta make early in the morning. Because when she wake up, bam, it's showtime. You're on. And it's just a renewing of your mind. And then also, it's just like as you grow with somebody, if they match you and they grow with you, that's a beautiful thing. But if one is growing and one doesn't grow, so many things can jump in between, and it's just like, you start reminiscing, like, Dad, remember back when you wasn't four? I used to like you. Now you a 10. I don't really like you no more because you don't want to dress up, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. I'm still here, but we no longer communicate. And so it's just constant communication and recognizing each other where they grow and where they don't grow, and understanding that, you know what, we're continually evolving as the longer we stay together. So, you know, and like, I think Father Wise said it one time. He said, "Yeah, I asked my mother, so how you deal with that guy? Talk about your father, and then you ask your father the same thing." He was like,
Yeah.
they said the
63
same
years.
exact
Yeah.
answers,
Same
but
exact answers.
different sides. And
Yup.
it's almost like, Dad, me as a younger generation, I'm like, yo, where is that?
Learned that my father said that. I said, Dad, 63 years him and my mother were married. Met when they were 19. 63 years. I said, Pop, how you stay with one woman for 63 years? And he did just like this. He said, make sure my mother wasn't listening. And he said, you think I be listening to your mother? He said, please. He go in one ear and out the other, and I shake my head. Right? So I asked my mom. I said, Mom, Dad how you stay with Dad for 63 years? My mom did like this. She said, you think I be listening to that crazy man? She said, he go in one ear and out the other. And I just shake my head because I love him. And that
But
was
the
it.
but the key part to that was they both humbled themselves.
Mm.
They didn't come at each other with a roar. They
Oh,
didn't come at each other with the juggler. Somebody humbled themselves.
no, well, I'm just gonna tell you from what in my household when I was growing up, what I've seen. There was nobody. My father's word was law. Period. Now I don't know what him and my mom discussed behind closed doors, but out in the open, when my father said something, that was it. That was pretty much it. But you got to think about our parents back then. The women were more submissive to their husbands back in the old days. Back in those days, that's how that worked. Because I've never seen my mother and father have an argument. Never, ever
In front of you.
in front of me. I'm just saying, I've
Exactly.
But
never seen them
but
argue.
again,
Ever.
humility did play a role because they were successful to keep their relationship. You cannot be in a relationship and everyone is constantly at each other's throat
No,
to stay for 63 years. So
no.
humility played a role in their relationship, big time.
I'm quite sure it
Big,
did.
big time. So what happens now again, they know each other. They they knew each other. They took the time out to learn each other. And if you do not do that in a relationship, to be humble, to keep a successful relationship, you will always have friction. You will always come to a head. You will always argue and never have a clean exit. You cannot successfully exit the room before you was like, okay, murder is happening right now. I'm going to call 911 in advance to say come in 15 minutes to get the dead person.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to happen one day. Because just like you said, Father Wise, when you mention most of the time the argument, the root of the argument is from something before, and this was just added on. Again, that happens because people stop communicating and it piles up.
And started cheating.
They stop communicating. This they an argument happened. It became very violent, yelling and screaming, maybe throwing things a bit, maybe even gotten physical. And then it stopped. But the argument was not forgotten. And then something else happened. And then it piled up like stock cars. It piled up. So now your temperament is very short. If you blink wrong, fire's coming out your nose. If you left the toilet seat up, I'm about to kill you right now. But I only left the toilet seat up. You understand? Because communication stopped happening. Successful, effective communication probably never existed. But again, it's all about being accountable for your role of what you play. And just like again, hearing you and seeing you. This part here, that face right there gets you murdered. Because that you're dismissing someone.
Not at all.
Oh,
If I'm
listen.
from
Hear me out. You're on that side of the fence. I'm on the other side of the fence. And I'm telling you straight up, anybody coming for me with this look and I'm talking to them, you might find a vase or something going upside your head.
damn.
Because
Dang.
I'm sorry, I'm talking to you. Look me in my eyes. That's a sign of disrespect. Again, you have to know who you're talking to. You have to know your mate. I'm not used to and I'm only telling you this again from my experience. So if someone's like, yeah, whatever, don't yeah, whatever me because I'm a tentative person. Don't handle me like you handle someone else because when you come into my court, I'm going to treat you like a king. So when you start treating me like a 2 cent hoe, I got a problem. You never come to me with this.
Yeah, it's
When I'm
Cent.
treating you like a king.
She didn't even say $2. She said
Two
Yeah,
cents.
2 cent.
2 cents,
damn.
baby.
It's a $2 hoe.
So
$2
so
hoe sounds
so you have to again if I'm treating you like a king, because this is what I do. Don't ever come to me sideways.
now. Now let me ask you a question, right?
Hmm.
You're talking to me. This right here. This is my I'm paying attention faces. I'm paying attention to you
One more
faces.
time. It's for me to know that. If I do not know you
But
and
if I
we are
say
sitting there,
and I
if,
say to you, I'm
if
paying.
you
Go ahead, I'm
say
listening.
no, that's not even enough. And I'm trying again, hear me because I'm on the other side.
It's a woman.
Listen to what I'm saying. Hear me because I'm on the other side. It's how it looks. People emotions are based on how you see something, how you hear something, and how you feel, right? So if I'm looking at you and I'm having this serious conversation and you're like this with your eyes closed, I'm listening. I'm listening. When you're on the other side and my feelings need to be validated by you, the one that I love, doing this to me, I'm listening. I'm listening doesn't make me feel validated. It doesn't make me feel that I matter. And I'm just sharing with you from a woman to a man. It doesn't look good. And it's not going to feel good to me as your woman that you say you love me and you're giving me that response. So I'm saying to you, either you express yourself, because it's imperative that you express, well, this is a part of my character, a part of my mannerisms. When I hear something that's important, I have to close my eyes so I can receive you better. You have to state these things, because then the next time you do it, they won't get offended. So you just can't say, yo, I'm listening, because your tone of voice matters. Your posture as you sit matters. Body language shows up and it speaks very loudly. And you don't have to talk to piss somebody off with your body. Like, that tells me you totally block me out. This tells me that you totally block me out. Closing my eyes, your eyes. You block me out. That's how I'm taking it. That's how I'm receiving it. So if you don't, again, express this to the person that you care about, this is how I am. And explain yourself. So then they can put in their mind, this is how he is. So let me respect it. Let me meet him where he's at so he can meet me where I'm at. Because just like I'm saying to you here, if you speak to me sideways and I know I'm treating you really good, I'm telling you, I have a problem with that. And I'm the type, I'm going to explain to you why. I have a problem with that because I came from a domestic violence household. And I have a problem with that because it triggers me to go to a next level with you. And I don't want to do that. So please explain yourself. Because I don't want to come up my character. Because I need you to respect me because I want to respect you. It's a reason people behave how they behave. It's a reason for it. So when you take your time out and go dating, because people skip that part, they just go, oh, he cute, she cute, and they go to bed. But when you date a person, you can get some history of a person. And then you can better understand them. Then it's less friction later on when you want to express yourself. So it's okay for you to lean back with your eyes closed, because then I know, okay, that's how he takes in what I'm saying to him. Some things take conversation, and people skip that part and they expect the next person to understand that they mean no harm. How can you expect that when you never expressed yourself? People skip that part. But if you go back to the beginning, when man meets woman and man dates woman and woman receives that man, the man is the leader. And if you are successful and confident of your leadership skills, the woman is going to be confident in your skill set and follow you, no problem. But if you're a little rocky roly, little shady Haiti, you're gonna be like, let me see what he's doing. Because let me see what this let me see what's going on here. Let me see how this gonna roll out. She's automatically gonna be suspect.
Women are always suspect.
That's not true. You're not hearing me.
I heard
if you date someone and give them some history, this is me. This is because when I date someone, you're going to know my story, because I need you to know my story, because I need you to handle me right. I need you to handle me properly. So I'm going to tell you my story. So if a person is about their business, not no shady, oh, let me see what he got. Let me see what I can get from him. Not none of that. Some real stuff. Some real stuff. If a person is honest and sincere, they're going to tell you their story. Because if you coming for me, I'm going to tell you my story. Because I need you to handle me a certain way. Because I want to give you love from my heart. I want to love you. I'm going to do my best to master how to love you. So you need to take time out and hear me with both ears and all your heart, because I'm going to treat you like a king. So I need you to handle me a certain way, because once you cross that line with me, all bets are off. You're going to see somebody else that you never thought I could be, because now you cross the level of disrespect, because I gave you my story and you responded to me to have understanding. So if you responded to me to have understanding, we shouldn't have no wavy lines here. You shouldn't be running behind the door, running outside here, really suspect. Shouldn't be doing that, because then you're going to get the other me, because you crossed the line of disrespect and all bets are off.
So what if now you're angry, that person's angry, and like you said, somebody has to man up or woman up. And at that moment, walking away might just be the best thing for 5, 10, 15 minutes.
And that should
That's
be.
it.
That
Yeah, okay.
should be.
Okay.
Walking away so you can calm down, so you can
Okay.
better think, so you can be clear. That's acceptable.
Okay. Because I've done a lot of that in my day. Just,
That's acceptable.
okay.
However, you have to get to a point where you can successfully discuss the topic and exit with a clear plan. Because if there's a problem, the problem has to be analyzed. The problem has to be worked through. The problem has to be evaluated to make sure everything is good. And then we can close this problem out. And we shouldn't have this problem anymore.
Mm.
Well, shouldn't. Shouldn't. Yeah,
Again, both people have to be accountable for what role they are bringing to the table. So if I'm giving you my heart and you giving me some plastic balloon, baby, and calling it a heartbeat, we're going to have a problem.
see, the thing is, I want you to understand. Yeah, that's the whole wordplay is killing me tonight.
I
Right?
know. Word.
I'm dying over here. I'm like saying, everybody, check this out, right? Like real talk. Everybody hasn't done the work like you, right?
No.
Everybody,
Hold,
let me
please.
finish.
I need to hold it, please. Hold, please. I'm
Okay,
giving you scenarios with
no, I
ways to
understand.
improve, because I want it better, because I'm a person, I love hard. I love hard.
Yeah, same here. I'm just
So
saying.
Same here.
when I love hard, I can see BS coming my way from 100 miles away. You could feel it. The energy is just there. If you come in just to have sex with me, the first thing I'm gonna tell you, baby, uh, my sex box is not open today. So if you still want to date me, I will go out on a date with you. But my sex box is not open today. So when that happens, I'm giving you an option here. You either go about your merry way, or we going on a date today. Because then you let me know who you are and what you came for. So if you set it up again from the beginning, and put all the chips on the table and give people a choice, you shouldn't have a problem. But there's people that come in with an agenda, with intention. Feel me? So if you come in that way and you rolling with their stuff, that's you accepting what they did. You could stop it straight at the gate, because I stopped it at the gate. I'm sorry. Uh, this is not working for me. It's not conducive for my heart, because I'm not into sex before I get into it with somebody. You got to learn who I am. Because if you don't learn who I am and you mishandle me, again, I'm doing it for a reason, and I will sit and explain it to you, because that's who I am. So we won't have any problems. I put it right on the table. So then I know who exactly I'm talking to. I don't need imposters to show up for me today. I need the real king to show up for me today. Or the real man that doesn't know he's a king, but I'm going to show him that he's a king. So I don't have time to sit and play with people when they have an agenda. You can feel the agenda coming at you. That energy is right there. You have to pay attention to it. It's not like we young, 19 and 20. We are straight up mature individuals now. We are seasoned. We done went through a thing or two. So we should be able to identify some things more quickly than we did when we was 19. So I know what I want. You have to, then that's the other part. You got to know what you want. You got to know what you want, learn who you're talking to, have some conversations, set some boundaries, and work it out. Because what happens, people get into relationships, they get into that horizontal position so quick, there's no boundary anymore. You done scraped it all up. You done scraped it up. Because the minute two people have sex, the game is over.
It's over.
The game is over. Your emotions is on another level. Bam, bam, bam. And you will see some things come out of people like, where you going? Don't ask me where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me what you mean where I'm going. You don't have to keep tabs on me because I know how to talk. Because that sends me to another level. See, that's again, I'm just being transparent here. So you have to know what you want. You have to know who you're talking to. You have to learn people. You have to have discussions, conversations. Let's get some history going, so I know where I gotta do, where I gotta be. So and then let's make sure we a good fit. We gotta make sure we a good fit, because if we keep bumping heads and we ain't even get between the sheets yet, baby, because I want my relationship to last past sex. I need this to be fire, even if we don't have sex. That's how I know the longevity. You here because you want to be with me, not just because you want to have sex with me. Because that's not what I want. I want some longevity here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to give you some different thoughts of ways to get around doing a cat and mouse chase. Yo, we too old for that. And everyone wants love, boo. Everybody wants love. Everybody wants to be loved. They want to feel loved. They want to feel validated to the person they love. Come on. Nobody wants to die alone and by themselves. Nobody. But to be loved, you gotta want that. You gotta want that. So it's almost time. It's almost time, and I thank y'all for coming on tonight, because this was a really cool conversation. But again, we have to get to learn one another, so we don't have friction, so we don't want to dog each other out and be disrespectful and disrespected, right? We got to have conversations, and successful ones that benefit each other, so we can go through the hard times together. If you can't go through a hard time, there's no longevity here. That's not a relationship. That's a bus stop. We only going to the bus stop. So like, I don't want to run away, girl.
I'm sorry.
The wordplay was crazy tonight, right?
Oh,
Wordplay was crazy.
I don't want to go to the bus stop. Okay, I want to get on that long plane ride. Okay?
Stop sucking on a lollipop. None of that.
Nah, none of that. We're not doing none of that.
Bamboo earrings, at least 2 pairs.
Nah, not even 1 pair, baby. Not even one piece.
Uh,
I know that's right.
So, again, I appreciate y'all every week that y'all come in and on and, having discussion, and hopefully we are helping people tonight and helping people just period. Because it's about learning through experiences. Learning through experiences, and everyone went through something, and everyone can share. And we are not the only people that went through stuff. Everybody does. That's just a part of life. You go through it and die. It's just how you manage afterwards. How you manage afterwards. So thank you, gentlemen, kings. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful night. Thank you, everyone, for coming on, supporting us every week as you do on Where's My King, hashtag the men's locker room. I am Ilyasa Simpson, aka Minister Charge, aka Coach Illy, coming through to you live through the Charge Room Show. So see you next week and have a great, great night.